Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's Clarence Presley coming back at you for another video. I am ready to share some information with you that hopefully will shift your paradigm for you to get after the bag. The bag that I believe that it's yours if you choose to go after it. But like anything else, it's going to take some hard work, it's going to take some diligence, and it's going to take a mindset shift. It's time that we shift the way we think about money. Quick little testimony. Last year, and for many of you that know I'm a man of faith. I love the Lord, and I don't hide that. But for years, I didn't want to talk about money. And I realized the things that I want to do to help the community and make a difference in the region that I live in, and just to impact the world, it's going to take money, right? The reality is that people oftentimes say that money is the root of all evil. That's absolutely not true. The reality is that the love of money is the root of all evil, and that's greed, right? But money is the answer to all things. And there's some things that we need in order for us to make an impact with the folks that we care about. So today, what I want to talk to you about is millionaire math. We got to learn how to do the right math. Millionaire math. This is the math that you were not taught in school. This is the math that oftentimes our parents didn't know how to teach us because they were not taught it in school. So I want to share some things with you today. You know, in the midst of everyone talking about cryptocurrency, talking about stocks, people are talking about options. All those things are dope. All those things are beneficial. But I want to give you a framework. I like to strip things down to its basics, just so everyone will have equal playing field, right? I want to make sure everyone will have an opportunity to begin to earn more income, to do the things that they desire to do, to make the impact. Hopefully, you want to make an impact in someone else's life, and you're not looking to just hoard this stuff for you. Because when you become a hoarder, that means that you're being greedy. And like I told you, greed is the root of all evil, and bad things happen. So let's jump into this, y'all. Millionaire math. We're going to talk about 7 streams of income. I know you see 8 boxes there, but it's only 7. The first box is just, again, reiterating the 7 income streams of millionaires. So let's take a look at this. We're going to look at today dividend income from stocks that you own. That's what millionaires do, right? We're going to look at earned income from a paycheck, right? Yes, you can still have a job. Everybody got to start somewhere, right? And it's key. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Rents from real estate. We're going to talk about royalties. We're going to talk about capital gains from selling appreciated assets. Again, that word is assets. Oftentimes we have more liabilities than we have assets. We're going to focus on assets. We're going to also talk about profits from businesses that they own. And the last thing, or one of the things, we're not going to use any specific order, is interest from savings, CDs, bonds, and other lending activities. We're going to focus on the other lending activities so you can get more money earned. All right, here we go, y'all. Let's jump into our first slide. So number one, the big thing that I want you guys to focus on today, we're going to look at earned income from a paycheck. Earn income from a paycheck. Let me move my screen down here to make sure that you can see. So earn income from a paycheck. Everyone, listen, it's not about you having a job, right? It's not about you having a job. Let's look at this. If you currently have a job, career, or whatever you want to call it, the key is how you determine to use it, right? And let me explain what I mean by that. If it's just simply for you to make enough money to pay your monthly bills and do the same thing over and over again, then you're already stuck in a vicious cycle, right? From the industrial complex. You hear people talk about the prison industrial complex. You hear people talk about the educational industrial complex. The industrial complex was birthed out of the Industrial Revolution. It means it is a system. The system in which we operate, even in our education system, the Dewey system, all of that was built upon the foundations from the Industrial Revolution to get a whole lot of worker bees, right? You went to school, you had a bell that rang, right? A clock, bell rang. You did class for so much, you had a little break, bell rang, had a break. Then you go back to class, you're doing work, you're learning, at least you think you're learning, at least you're getting information, the information that they want you to have. And then another bell rings for lunch. All of this was in order to train people to become worker bees in the industry, right? You're going to be part of the industrial revolution. Therefore, most of us have an industrial complex. So all we think we're supposed to do is go to work, come home, maybe eat some dinner, go to sleep, repeat, do it again till you get a check to pay the bills, and then you're broke again until you get a check the next time. That's not what I want you to do. Having a job is okay. Matter of fact, it could be great. The real question is, why do you have a job? And what I mean by that, define your why. Define why your job is important. In other words, we're going to look at how. How will you use your job? Leverage. How will you leverage the income from your job to grow your assets? That's key, y'all. You got to get that. What do you intend to accomplish? So we're going to look at your why, right? Why, define why you have a job. So you get that clear, like, I have this job because I got goals. There's some things that I want to do. I have this job to become a part of my bank. Your job becomes your bank. Get that in your spirit, right? Number two, how? How will I use my job? So you got to figure out, yes, if you got bills, number one, you got to decrease, right, your expenses. Because if the job that you have only generates so much revenue and your expenses meet or match that revenue or even higher, you're at a deficit. You're never going to have an opportunity to break out of that cycle. So you must reduce. You got to pay a little bit of the price up front. Reduce some of your expenses. Live below your means instead of above them. Don't worry about getting that fresh new whip, that brand new car. Right now, you just need to have something where you can make sure you're stacking. Every paycheck, you want to have some extra that you can invest in yourself. Are you with me? Then the what? The what do you intend to accomplish? What is the outcome or the goals that you want to see the income that you have go towards? So let that resonate. Let that sink in, all right? Here we go again. Number two, interest yielding accounts. Number one on this is interest from savings, CDs, bonds, or other lending activities. Savings is cool, but you're not earning much interest. I mean, just call it what it is. CDs, I mean, if you can find a CD that even pay you 1%, you're doing great. You know what I mean? Nowadays, bonds, it just depends on if you're a bonds guy, or gal. So you definitely no issues, male or female. Hey, everybody's making money moves right now. The other lending activities that I want you to consider, for interest is like, number one, get an investment account. Get you a high yielding money market account that's going to give you a return on your money, right? So while you're investing, the money that's sitting in that account, if it's not in your IRA or your Roth IRA, you're still earning interest on that money. Cryptocurrency. Two forms. I'm going to talk about cryptocurrency and hedge funds. Cryptocurrency can be volatile, up and down, up and down. When it's up, it's good. But I want to talk about these hedge funds. There are these type of hedge funds for cryptocurrency. They don't call them hedge funds, but I'm giving it this term, where you can literally invest your crypto. And I've done a video on it. Go look it up. 840% return. In other words, if you put one Ethereum in this account, every day it's going to earn you 4.2% Ethereum. Not the value of Ethereum, but Ethereum. The reason that's important is because if the value of Ethereum goes up, you not only did you earn more Ethereum, but you earn more value because it increased. You're leveraging. That's going to be a key word, y'all, and we're going to talk about it in a moment. Private equity loans. I'm not talking about you going to be the borrower. I'm talking about there's some ways for you to leverage your money. Matter of fact, if anyone is doing any type of real estate investing, a lot of those loans from real estate investors for hard money are private equity loans. People have taken out equity out of their homes and they put it in the pot. They're lending that money and maybe they're expecting a 12% return, right? You're going to get a 12% return, 9% return, 15% return. It depends on the situation. But those are other ways for you to leverage your money, interest yielding accounts. Again, leverage. Leverage is the word that should be in heavy rotation daily in your conversation. You constantly ought to be talking about leverage, leverage, leverage. I got to leverage this. How do I leverage that? That ought to become a part of your vocabulary. Learn how to leverage your money against interest so it can work for you instead of you working for it. See, we've been trained we got to work for the money. But wealthy people understand their money works for them. I'm going to put this money out here and why do you think they lend money? They're going to lend you money because you got to pay it back with interest. Let that money work for you. All right? Awesome. Let's look at our next one. Dividend income from stocks owned. Right now, we're in an investment frenzy. Retail investors are through the roof. If you guys paid any attention to what's gone on over the last couple of weeks, I'm sure you're aware of what took place with the GameStop stock, AMC, some of the other things that's been going on. And even folks right now, I've been talking about option trading and all these different things. And those things are great. There's this short-term stuff, and there's a lot of new hot EV stocks and all these things. And those things are great as well. But dividend stocks, you want to look for stocks you believe in for the long term and stocks that pay a dividend. See, dividend stocks, these are stocks that pay dividends to you. They put income in your hands annually outside of what you earn in your portfolio. So you're going to make money as the stock rises, and as they make money, right, as they earn more money, if they outperform in that quarter and in that year, you're going to receive a check from the company as a shareholder. Dividend stocks. So I'm going to also leverage. That's why we say diversify your portfolio. Make sure you have some dividend stocks that's going to pay you for believing in the company. Here's a couple of examples, right, of dividend stocks. And these are, I'm not saying these are the greatest, but these were some that were listed top 15. I gave you 12 of them, top 15 for 2021, according to money.usnews.com. Target. Everybody knows about Target, right? Target, do you believe that it's going to be around? Do you believe that Target's going to make money? Target has, what, just like Instacart, they have shipped. That means they're going to deliver stuff to your house. Target is still making money. Grief, that's another company you need to go look at. AbbVie, JP Morgan Chase, they've been around forever, right? I mean, JP Morgan and Chase, I mean, JP Morgan was a part of that original group to create the Federal Reserve. So you know that they ain't gonna be around. Johnson & Johnson. I knew Johnson & Johnson from baby powder and all that, but they're making vaccines. I mean, Johnson & Johnson is doing everything. Iron Mountain, the paper shredders. I mean, Pepsi, who don't drink Pepsi unless you drink Coke? But Pepsi, these are just a bunch of things. Discover Financial, you know, the Discover card, they're gonna be around. Cisco System. Now look at Mondelez International. You start looking at these and they're dealing with vending, you know, Oreo cookies, all these different things. Crown Castle International. You're talking about REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust is like the #2, and Antero Midstream Corp. These are companies you need to take a look at. Do your own due diligence. I am not a financial planner or a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to invest in these stocks. I'm saying do your own due diligence and find you some dividend stocks that you believe in that you ought to be a part of. All right? Fantastic. Royalties, from selling rights to use something that you have written or invented, right? A lot of cats are not even hip to royalties. This is one of the easiest ways. It takes a little bit of time, but if you do it right the first time, write a book. Some of y'all are sitting up on so much game. You know what I'm saying? I like to watch shows like, forgive me, but like American Gangster. And I've been watching like American Gangster Trap Queens. And I noticed like 5, 6, 7 of them are part of this little group. I won't name the group, but they're part of this little group. And all of them been writing books. So by the time they came home, they was already getting this royalty income to start launching other things that they were doing. If you can make money from prison writing books, y'all ought to write some books. There's some things, I don't care if it's a cookbook, right? Or the how to fix a lawnmower book. Write a book, and it don't have to be long. Most people's attention span is short these days. They don't want a 500-page book. Give them 50, 75, 100 pages of something that makes sense, that's going to answer some specific questions. I literally wrote a book that was like 44 pages recently about intimacy. Why? Because I only wanted to answer 2 questions, and I wanted to make sure that it was so specific that you couldn't misunderstand it if you wanted to. Then we'll add more to it later. All right? Invent something. Invent something people need or want. Right? If you invent something, that thing goes into production. You're going to always get paid off of that because you'll own the rights of it. Produce music. If you're an artist and you got that musical gift, make some music, write a song, just your writing. Even if you don't know how to play the keys or instrument, if you know how to write, man, write a song, be a ghostwriter, write a song and send your song and sell it. You own the publishing rights to that song. Well, you should. If you own the publishing rights, you're going to get paid a royalty for your song, right? Build a high traffic website where people want to advertise on your page. And lastly, and there's a whole lot more, but something that most of you can understand, develop a subscription-based, high-traffic social media platform like YouTube. If you can drive traffic to YouTube, you get subscribers, guess what? It is an advertisement mecca. But not only just for them to put the little ads on YouTube that pop up in between scenes after you've gotten over your 4,000 hours of views, but the other thing is the fact that you can start leveraging. You can start leveraging your views with corporations, and corporations will start giving you products or helping you to launch campaigns. Like Mr. Beast, being able to give away cars and all this stuff. That dude is killing. I'm talking about he got billions of views. He's got more views than television networks. So you have the same potential to leverage and get royalties. That's royalty income, you guys. Think that through. All right, profits from businesses they own. This is what millionaires do. It's another stream. They go, even if they got a job, right? Even if they're the CEO of a corporation. I mean, look at this. And you probably don't like this example. You had Donald Trump working as the president of the United States, and yet he still had his businesses going. Yes, he claimed he didn't run them, but man, these businesses are in blind trust, right? And he got his kids and all these other folks. These businesses were still running. That's just good business. I don't care who you are. Yeah, the 400 and something thousand dollars you're getting paid to be president can't compare to the millions. The president position was about power, right? And I'm not pitching politics. I'm not pitching Republican, Democrat. I'm giving you just an example of why you should own your business, even if you got a job. Make it your side hustle, right? To where it becomes your main hustle, right? Start your own business. Identify your target market in your niche or niche. I hear a lot of guys now on YouTube and gals talking about niche. Man, I'm from the old school. We say niche. So identify your target market and your niche. What's your niche? What makes you you? Don't be a copycat. Find your own lane, find your own voice, find your own swag. Identify those who like what you're talking about, right? And when you can identify those people, do your research, find people that have similar interests to you and see what they're asking questions about. Be a great listener so you can provide a great answer. That's what you have to do. You want to develop a product or a service that provides an answer. Provides an answer to a need or want from your target market. When you can do that, dude, it's coming in. Just make sure you perform, you give them a good product. Simplify your business to leverage it for big returns. A lot of people make their business too complicated. So it becomes so complicated that the overhead is so big that you're not making anything, you're losing. It becomes a deficit. You do not want to do that. Simplify, automate your business if you can. That's the name of the game today. Automate your business. Here's an example of simplifying and automating, right? Maybe you're not a clothing designer. My brother's a clothing designer. I'm not. I realize that. I'm more of what you would call a merchandiser. So here's an example. Instead of someone trying to develop a brand, right? Instead of you having a brand, you should provide birthday t-shirts. This is an example because everybody's gonna have a birthday for every month, each month in different designs through a drop ship website. So you hold no inventory. That means you're not going out buying t-shirts and sweatshirts and keeping all the supplies at your house. You're working with a third-party vendor that will give you a contract for you to get a certain price point. If you're going to earn $6, $7, $8 profit off of each shirt and you're pushing 100 shirts a week, do the math. That's $800 a week. How do you up your game? More expansion, reinvest. But you ain't got to have the inventory. You're not paying for the stuff up front. You're going to probably pay for a website, some type of subscription to them to put the stuff out there. A lot of times they're not asking you to pay for anything up front, just place the order. Now, if you're on a Shopify or something like that, you're going to pay a monthly subscription because of all the other mechanisms that they have within their pre-built website for you. But these are some things you need to consider about creating profitable businesses for you to own as a stream of income. Rents from rental real estate. I love this. Number one, y'all, real estate is your friend. Let me say it again. Real estate is your friend. Why? Because real estate is your bank. Real estate is your bank. Now, hold on. Short-term flips, don't. They're good. I know a lot of people flipping houses. I got a lot of homeboys flipping houses, and they make good money. You're flipping capital gains. You don't want to pay it. You flip it again. You put it in another house. They don't like that word flip. You're not supposed to use that word, but that's what they're doing. Make good money. Some will say great money, actually. But I want to talk to you today about long-term rentals. And I'm going to say long-term rentals are great. Why? Because you get the triple threat. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Steady monthly income. Residual income that you'll get every single month so you can reinvest in other things. So you can diversify. Plus, while you're getting that monthly income, that property value is going up while that mortgage payment, if you got one, is going down. So it is appreciating. The value of the property is going up and it's appreciating. So it's building more reserve for you, more finances for you while you own it and you're getting paid. You're paying the note, but not with your own money. Someone else is paying that through the rent and you're getting a profit on top of it, right? And the third thing is tax write-off. If you got to paint, you got to clean the carpets, you got to change some, I don't care if you got to change light bulbs and door handles, write it off. It is a tax write-off. Triple threat. We have to learn how to think about the game this way. You with me? Here we go. Capital gains from selling appreciated assets. We just talked about real estate appreciation. When your house, you can sit on it for a minute, it grows, you got value. When you sell it, it's capital gains tax, unless you put it in something else. Therefore, yes, the capital gains is your net value that you make off of it, and you can get around capital gains tax if you're going to keep reinvesting that money back into some other investment, right? And that's how people are growing their money. I don't know if you guys realize it. A lot of top executives of the wealthiest people in the world that you look at, most of them don't walk around in liquid. They're liquid just because they have a ton of stock. And at any time they can cash it. I think Jeff Bezos just cashed out like $1.something trillion like a couple months ago and flipped another house. But he ain't sitting around just walking around with it getting taxed on that, because why is it in stock? Look, it's appreciating. That is growing for him, right? We want to have things that appreciate, right? Art, the right art, good art. I ain't talking about the little street art. Now, that's some great street art that got value. But I ain't talking about just some, your daughter made you a picture. Maybe down the road, if she gets famous, then it's going to be worth something. But art, find the art that appreciates it. That's what you're into. Antiques. I know a lot of folks that are treasure hunters. They go to yard sales and they know what they're looking for. While everybody else is out there looking for a deal, they know what they're looking for. You got to learn this if that's what you want to do. Certain automobiles, I kind of stay away from automobiles, but there's certain cars that you can buy if you can get them for the right price that holds great value, right? Something else I put on here that I didn't put on here rather is dog breeding. I got a couple guys I know that are breeding dogs, and man, they selling dogs for $10,000 a puppy. Just something to think about. That would be under a business, but not necessarily appreciation. But I just thought about that and thought I'd give it to you. cards, comics, coins, all collector editions, appreciation. Again, here's that word, leverage. Leverage your income to be intentional about what you purchase. Think before you buy. That's what I want y'all to do. I want you to start thinking before you buy. Even companies appreciate. That's why they get bought out, right? So think next time you get ready to make a purchase and you got that kind of impulse just to spend money, think like, is this going to make me some money? Or is it going to be a liability? Is it an asset or is it a deficit? Is it an asset or is it a liability? You want to have something that's going to return. Now, everything you buy, like food and things like that, obviously, you know, you're investing in your health if you're eating right, but obviously they're not going to appreciate. But other things that you're looking at, you're looking for deals. People think that these wealthy folks are flashy and all that. Most wealthy folks aren't. Not wealthy people. Most wealthy people are very, you know, shrewd with their money, and they're very intentional with how they spend it. Now, they may give it away to the things they love. Philanthropy is big, and that's what I want to be. I want to be a philanthropist. I want to be able to give to the things that matter most to me, right? So let's look at some of this, y'all. I want you guys to really take in consideration what I shared. If you like what I shared, man, please, please, please hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure that you leave a comment down below. We're going to start doing some giveaways in the next week or two. So start leaving your comments so you can become familiar with the page. All right? Until next time.